Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
I mean, not everybody can do it, only some specialized people. Let's say only the HR admin or somebody would have the access to rehire of former workers. Now this happens because it is important how you handle the original hire date, okay? So if you are rehiring a worker, what would be the original hire date? What distorts that information? Let me give you an example. Let's say a person, A, used to work for the company between January 1st, 2000, and he left the organization on August 20th, 2015, 2014, right? That's where he left the organization. And now this worker is joining us again on March 22nd, okay. 2022. This person is going to join us again. So what is the hire date? The hire date is the most recent date that the worker was hired. So what is the hire date? March 22nd, 2022. So the hire date is March 22nd, 2022, right? This is the most recent hire date. And then, there is another concept called continuous service date. So from which date did I write the spelling of continuous correctly? Continuous, okay, whatever. So from which date is this worker continuously working for the organization? For most of the cases it is equal to the hire date. Right, the continuous service date is also equal to the hire date. So this worker has been working continuously from 22nd of March. Now what is the original hire date? January 1st, 2000. Correct, it is 1st of January 2000. Right. A lot of organizations want to retain this information. Okay, so 1st of January 2000 will be the original hire date of person A, okay. But some organizations say, oh, we don't care. We don't want to retain this worker history. What we will do is if it is rejoining. If this worker is rejoining us, then that would be the original hire date. We don't want to preserve the employee record, history, or the work history. But most companies in the US especially, they want to retain this original hire date information. Okay. They want to retain that. So original hire date is equal to January 1st, 2000. Now can you tell me, is the worker a rehire, right? To answer this question, what is a rehire? Rehire means a candidate. You have hired a worker who has worked with you previously. That is a rehire, and we are rehiring again. Yeah, you are hiring that person again, right? So is the worker a rehire? Now, based on these dates, can we come up with a logic which says, is the worker a rehire? Yes. Yeah, what is the logic? We have a data right. like he was initially with the organization from January 1st to 2024. I mean, based on this information hire date and original hire date, is there a way we can come up with a logic which says this happens with the rehire, the original hire date, and the hire date? So original hire date is not equal to hire date. So if this happens, then the worker is a rehire. If the original hire date is not equal to hire date, then that means the worker is a rehire. Yes, this is a very, very common, I would say, logic that we use to identify rehires in the organization. Okay, is the original date equal to hire date? If the answer is yes, then no, this is not a rehire. If the answer is no, which means original hire date is not equal to hire date, then we can say with a good amount of the conviction that, yes, this worker is a rehire. So when we write logic, when we create our calculated fields, or when we create compensation, eligibility rules, etc., we can use this kind of a logic, where original hire date is not equal to hire date. Yeah, but for that you have to retain this information. You have to use the original hire date field. If you do not use an original hire date, then of course this information is not preserved, and you will not be able to create this logic. But typically most organizations do, and we use this logic to identify whether it's a rehire or not. Yes, Shweta question. Honestly, in the place I work, I use this information a lot because I'm an onboarding specialist. So all this information is stored in one HRIS for us. Correct. So is there like anything which is like an integration which we can use using one HRIS and then no? Oh yeah, between one HRIS and one day. Yes, of course. Okay. You can. Got it. So it depends what all information you want. Like you want the candidates, let's say, home email address, phone number, right? You want their what to say? Previous employer name, date of birth, SSN, right? Yes, everything is there, yeah. Yeah, you can pull all that information from the existing application into Workday. Yeah, it will just be a very simple integration. Yes, and it is very common to have those integrations. Okay. Shweta, one more point logical here which I wanted to ask. Sir, like when we take option called rehire option, it will take automatically this original rehire date, or we have to manually enter? Yes. No, it will automatically take the original hire date, right? The key here is if we are using an existing pre-hire. If we use an existing pre-hire, then automatically everything will be populated. But sometimes organizations, they don't want to use that. They will say, okay, create a new pre-hire again. Create a new pre-hire. Treat it as a new employee, right? Do not pull in the previous record. So I have seen some organizations do that, but most organizations try to preserve the original hire date. Okay, they even give the employee their old employee ID sometimes, right? Especially, I knew about even in Cognizant, the Cognizant Technology Solutions, that organization I used to work for them for some time. So when I joined that day, the onboarding specialist asked me, "Did you work with us before? And if yes, do you remember? Do you have it in the record? Do you have your old employee ID? If you do, we will use that. We will not create a new employee ID for you." That's what she said, right? So they retain the old employee records. They even give you back your old employee ID. Some organizations do like that. But there was another organization like a large consulting firm.
Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us at sales@therateuptalk.com.